22. But in recent history, it's been back and forth. The last 10 games, these two teams 5-5 against each other. Last year, a big Indy Classic win down at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for Indiana State, 83-72. But the Cardinals dominant here in Muncie.
Yeah, the Sycamores have the last two. The last time the Cardinals won, well, it was the last time they played here in this building.
Sparks and Harding for the tip. Sparks knocks it back to Britton Watson. We're underway here from Muncie. Starting lineups on your screen brought to you by McGuff Roofing, expert roofing service you can trust. You take a look at the Cardinals. Jamari Fathill, we mentioned him in the open. Ethan Britton Watts, Mickey Pearson Jr. Peyton Sparks, the big man down low, and Mason Jones inserted back into the starting lineup. And on the other side, for the Indiana State Sycamores, we mentioned Samaj Teal in the open as a three ball comes from Pearson long. Offensive rebound, Jones. Kick out, Britton Watts. Another one too strong. Battle for on the offensive board, but thrown out. We mentioned Teal on the offensive side for the Sycamores earlier in this one. He's joined by Summers, Wagner, Harding, and then Kamani Dowdy, who missed the last couple of games, back into the lineup. So here's Samaj Teal with Britton Watts on him. Far corner, Wagner, the transfer from Rice. All 5 starters for Indiana State transfers. Wagner, a three ball. Rattles out, rebound Hill. Jamari Fathill got that nickname at a very young age from his grandmother. Bounces it inside Sparks, looking for some help. Good ball movement here for the Cardinals around the perimeter. Inside from the left elbow, Sparks goes to work. Through contact, scoops and scores.
And I love the Cardinals setting up Sparks there at the free throw line, letting him get some momentum going down to the low block rather than having to turn and go up immediately.
Dowdy kicks it to Harding, pass intercepted, but they'll say that Pearson stepped out of bounds.
Both these teams, Dom, today, they're going to play with a spread offense. And with that, create some passing lanes. But look for the anticipation from both the Cardinals and Sycamores defensively to try to jump in the way and intercept some of these passes.
Ben Hendricks already inserted into this ball game for Peyton Sparks. It'll be Teal that inbounds from the right trigger. This is an Indiana State team that played very fast last year, and head coach Matthew Graves says he doesn't plan to change that one bit this year. Top of the key, Dowdy. Hands off Summers. Harding tries a tray. Rattles in and out off the window. Rebound, Fathill. Cardinals in transition. Short corner, Pearson. And Hill is fouled. It's going to go on Janai Summers.
Interesting to see the Cardinals make some really interesting early substitutions. Jeremiah Hernandez and Ben Hendricks coming in after just a minute of this contest. Hendricks trying to get open down low. Maybe Coach Lewis and company like that matchup with Hendricks on Harding.
Inside, Hernandez has his pocket pick. Hendricks there at the right block. He's fouled. First one on Kamani Dowdy tonight, the transfer from Utah Valley.
And foul trouble is going to be important. It's something we've talked about, trying to stay clean. An early foul from Summers, and now Dowdy. Just 2 in the opening 2 minutes.
Hendricks goes to work inside, kicks it out Hill. Hernandez a three ball. Got it. Quick 5-0 lead for the Cards here early. Tight defense from Britton Watts on Teal. Teal finds Harding inside. Marcus Harding going to work, kicks it out. Teal, Trey coming. Off left. Good board from Britton Watts, trying to find Hill in transition, deflected out of bounds. Ball State basketball.
Things a little sloppy in the midcourt. I want to go back to that last possession. The Sycamores got the switch they wanted. Ethan Britton Watts has been practically hugging Teal here in the first couple of minutes of this game. They get the switch. It's Mickey Pearson who then crashes maybe a little prematurely on the inside. Teal got the shot, just couldn't knock it down for ISU.
Hernandez gets a screen. Pearson right wing. Driving in from the elbow. Floats and scores. 7-0 run to start for the Cards. Indiana State trying to get some sort of offense going. Harding rips it, corner. Here it comes from Summers, and he buries it.
You got to wonder if maybe Harding played a little bit of center field at one point in his day. That was a zip to the corner, a wide open shot, and that'll get the Sycamores rolling.
This was an Indiana State team last year that led the entire country in threes made. Short corner shot from Hernandez, but he's fouled going up.
That's something Jeremiah Hernandez brings to this game for Ball State. Started the first couple of games for Michael Lewis's team. He's been coming off the bench here in the last couple, but Hernandez able to move off the dribble, maybe not the one in the game that starts these offensive possessions, but he's a guy that you can find with 12, 15 seconds on the shot clock and make something of a possession that maybe started a little slowly.
Hernandez, first free throw is good. Came into the ball game 3 for 5 on his trips to the charity stripe so far this year. Knocks them both down, 9-3 Cards. Already 3 personal fouls here early in the first half for Indiana State. In front of a packed house this afternoon. 2 Indiana teams going at it. Harding through contact on Sparks, and he teardrops one home.
And we'll talk a lot today, Dom, about the youth of Indiana State, but they've got a couple of guys. Marcus Harding, one of those, comes in with a lot of experience, and he showed it on that possession trying to back down on Peyton Sparks.
Britton Watts inside Sparks. Big fella going to work, +1. Didn't make a field goal against Dayton. That's got to feel good. And Sparks will go to the line when we come back here from Worthen. Ball State up 6. A good start for the Cards, 4 for 6 already from the field.
Yeah, the Cardinals starting hot. It's a complete opposite of the last time these two teams squared off in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Of course, a lot of factors have changed since then. But the Cardinals got to like where they are right now. No team fouls compared to the Sycamores, who everyone but one person on the court in teal has a foul as it currently stands. The Cardinals splashing down from early, shooting 67%.
Peyton Sparks at the line here. One free throw coming after he was fouled. Here's the +1 shot. Rolls in and out. Sparks trying to get his own rebound, and they'll call him for the lane violation. Left too early.
I like the anticipation, though, but maybe just a half step too early.
So Teal takes it up for Indiana State. Been held quiet so far. No points for our impact player just yet. Alothin inside. Oh, he's rejected. They'll call a foul on Fat Hill. Daughtry got a really nice feed inside. Ball State bench is irate.
And we'll take a look here. Yeah, there's some contact to the chest. Gets the ball clean up top, but Hill jumping laterally to try to close down the space and get to that basketball. Just catches Daughtry on the upper chest region, and it's a fair call in the end.
It's the first foul called on the Cardinals this afternoon. First free throw good from Daughtry. One of just 3 players from last year's team that saw minutes. Only 2.8% of the scoring back this season from last year from Indiana State. Second free throw good. 4-point ball game. Ball State still on top. Britton Watts running the point. Hill inside. Sparks from the left baseline. Going at it with Daughtry, has his pocket picked. Alliston the other way. Far corner, here's Dowdy. Yep.
That's just beautiful movement. Transition work, Dom. You look at Sparks getting that ball a little too high in the post. They get the takeaway, and then it's just the speed to push it down the court.
Bounced for Hernandez, inside left elbow. Hill going to work. Starts and stops upstairs, no good. Here's Sparks working on Daughtry. Too strong. Rebound fought for. Sycamore basketball. Really nice defensive work by Indiana State.
Yeah, the Sycamores bearing down on the defensive end, and that's the second or third time where we've seen one of those rebounds kind of bounce up into the air, hit a couple of bodies on the way down, and just beautiful physical work from Dowdy to get his right hand on it, knowing his momentum's going to take him out of bounds and flush it off Hill to retain possession and push it the other way.
Daughtry tries a tray. Short. Pearson the board. Here comes Ball State. Swung around the perimeter. Jerry Hernandez from the far corner. Hendricks. Hill baseball pass. 10 to shoot. Inside Pearson going to work. Spins, fades, no good. Rebound Daughtry of ISU. Alothin wide open for three, buries it. The freshman from Spain on the board.
There's the transition game coming in again. Ethan Britton Watts is pointing to one of his teammates saying, hey, pick up that guy. But I think all it does in the end, Dom, is open up the passing opportunity to make it even more that much more obvious to who the three-ball opportunity should go to.
Now ISU on a nice run. 5-0 here in the last minute and a half. Hill cuts to the basket. Scoops and scores. Here come the Sycamores quickly in transition. Teal trying to make something happen. Outside, Daughtry with another go. Well short. Comes Britton Watts running the floor. Michael Lewis says go. Step back. Fade is long. Rebound Teal. Here come the Sycamores. 2-on-2. Janai Summers slows it up. Really nice pace between these two teams. Alothin a three. Another one. 6 quick points for Alothin, the freshman. Three-point lead for ISU. Kick out. Hernandez is fouled. Left the shot long, but he'll get 3 at the charity stripe.
And Hill with the dynamic drive just a couple of possessions ago getting to the rack. So when he drives moving right to left that time, the defenders converge in. And that's just a nice find to see Hernandez in the corner. The help defense comes too late. And now 3 free throws for Jeremiah Hernandez, who hasn't found the free throw line much, but's hit 3 of his 5.
Misses right with the first free throw. That foul on Janai Summers, already his second. Team's 5th. Second free throw from Hernandez is good. First-year transfer from the University of Southern Indiana. Spent 2 seasons there. Just under 12 points per night in his 2 seasons. All OVC first team a year ago, but started his collegiate career at Kent State, so he's all too used to the Mid-American Conference. Goes 2 for 3 at the line. Brings it to within a 1-point ball game.
Couple of substitutions in for the Cardinals. We'll see Juancy Gorosito for the first time. Started the first couple of games. Then he played in the Cardinal and white, but Ethan Britton Watts getting the starting role as of late. Gorosito, the shooter.
Alothin almost sized up another 3. Kicks it out. Wagner. Got it. ISU lethal from beyond the arc. 3 straight three-pointers made. 5 for 10 from distance are the Sycamores. Gorosito pumps, now passes. Joey Hart also inserted into the ball game. Hernandez. Step back 3, Fat Hill, no good. Too strong. Alothin the board. Indiana State running the floor. Dowdy pumps. Teal inside. Finds Daughtry. Going to work on Hendricks. Scoops and scores.
They've been hitting the 3, but now going inside. But how about this ISU offense? 32% as a team from 3 early on, and, well, they're shooting a 50% clip right now.
And now another foul. On the floor. And Indiana State, a couple of wins against Minnesota and Utah, propelling them all the way to that point, Griff. It was a heck of a year, and that man, an associate head coach from last year, now head coach Matthew Graves, trying to replicate that success.
Yeah, Graves was on the staff of Josh Schertz, who was in his last season for Indiana State before now moving to St. Louis, but it was an Indiana State team that was ranked in the AP poll at one point. Still a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths that they didn't make the NCAA tournament, but it was a bit of a blessing in the end. They got 3 more home games in front of the home crowd before being in Hinkle Fieldhouse in nearby Indianapolis for the NIT championship.
Ellison gets the screen, kicks it out. Cook driving baseline all the way to the cup, and he scores. Tough take. Going up against 6'10" Ben Hendricks.
That's the second straight possession we've seen Ben Hendricks get beat down low, just a little bit late to shift his momentum forward and get his hands up into the air. See if Hendricks can make a defensive correction.
Battered away from Hill. Downstairs, Hendricks with a two-handed jam. Nice move from Daughtry. Fading. And just trickles out for him. Gorosito. Fast pace. Gets a screen. Feeds inside. Hendricks again. And a charge called. Put the shoulder right into the chest of Jaden Daughtry.
Daughtry putting his body on the line there. Hendricks with a good drive took a little bit of a hop step inside, but just too much contact to the chest of Daughtry, who's still maybe feeling that one a little bit, the big body of Ben Hendricks.
Cook from the right wing, Ellison. Daughtry looking for some help. Finds Walker. Offensive foul. We're going the other way. Off ball. Jaden Daughtry called for it. Already the 6th on the Sycamores this half.
And we saw Peyton Sparks just enter the game for Hendricks, and maybe it's just a case of Daughtry trying to catch Sparks on his heels a little bit fresh into the game with the quick cut inside. But you've got to wait a second. That screen getting set and then unset a little too early and getting called for the violation.
Hill swings it hard. Back to Hill. Gorosito squares up for a 3. Swirls in and out. Boy, he just missed that. Hit 4 3-pointers in the season opener against Georgia State. Bounce to Harding from the charity stripe. Ellison with Hartwright on him. Outside. Harding works on Sparks, and he took steps. Just the second turnover today for ISU. It's been a pretty clean basketball on both ends of the floor. Ball State with only 3 of its own. Gorosito, the transfer from Portland. Top of the key, Hill goes to work. Step back from the elbow, yes! Oh, pretty move. Walker all day from beyond the arc. Well long. Jones the rebound. Moving the length of the floor inside, Sparks. Reverse scoop and score.
And Sparks looked a little uneasy on his feet that time. It looked like Harding had the better of position, but little slide step inside. Harding already has a foul in the first half, not wanting a second, and lets the up and under go through.
In transition, Gorosito to the cup, +1. Tie ball game, and Gorosito has a chance to change that.
And that's a young man right there who has struggled for confidence. You mentioned it earlier, 4 threes in the season opener, hasn't had the same success since then. That's a big bucket, and you can see how much it means to Juanzi Gorosito, the Argentinian.
Just a huge loss, starter-wise, for Indiana State.
And when you lose that many players, the scoring's got to come from somewhere. And I know people have varied opinion on the transfer portal, but that's where it comes in handy, Dom. You bring in a bunch of guys that are really, really talented, and you just look out there at the court, instant impacts all over from position to position.
Gorosito buries the free throw, and the Cardinals have now a 9-0 run since 11 minutes here in this first half. Allison inside Harding. Sparks all over him. Layup too long. Gorosito in transition. Kicks out TJ Birch, the freshman, inserted into the ball game. Sparks from the baseline. Swings it out. Here goes Birch. Birch outside Gorosito. Kick ball. Tried to find Sparks. Payton would have been wide open at that right block, but...
Well, and after Payton Sparks got the cross-court pass he was looking for, everyone shifts to the left, right? And what ends up happening is Harding has to come out for a double team that's probably not intended. And in the end, just the soccer kick to keep away from an easy dunk from Sparks.
Gorosito to Birch. They play pitch and catch. Good ball movement. Top of the key three, long. Offensive board, Hernandez, but then it's stripped right out of his lap. Teal the other way. Has a lane to the cup. There goes Harding on the reverse, and he puts it home. Indiana State back with a lead.
And you mentioned the run earlier. That's the first bucket for Indiana State in about 3.5 minutes. That's one they needed to break. Back in the lead here, as you mentioned.
Sparks going to work. Through contact. Couple of tries, no good. Scramble on the floor. Wagner to Teal. And here come the Sycamores. Crossover. Outside, Harding gets a go. Swatted up, and Sparks collects.
Not where you'd typically expect
No.
Sparks to collect a rebound.
Hernandez says slow things up. Gorosito calls out with his right hand for a play. Sparks spins off the glass, no good. Alothin the other way. They've got some numbers. Wagner a transition three, short. Offensive board, Doughty kicks it out. Teal squares one up and buries it.
Samaj Teal had been looking for that ever so elusive first bucket. Been able to dish out the ball. Already has 4 assists today, but finally gets that first three-pointer to fall, and maybe the Sycamore point guard will be able to find some offense of his own here.
Birch, who's seen more minutes, is fouled. TJ Birch has been very impressive. Didn't see action in the first game against Georgia State, but came in against Franklin College, got good minutes, then saw good minutes against Dayton as well, Griff. He's going to be a guy that the Cardinals really look to develop in the near future.
Yeah, he's been a nice little surprise, hasn't he, for Michael Lewis and company. He didn't play in the first game, as you mentioned. Maybe a guy Lewis wasn't planning on maybe utilizing as much in his freshman year. But after the way he played against Franklin, showing his ability to create space for himself, you've got to throw him a few minutes here and there, and he's taking advantage.
First free throw good from Birch. Yeah, 8.5 points per game. 50% from the field to start in his first couple of collegiate contests for Birch. Long on the second free throw. Alothin has some room. Step back three. Foul downstairs. See who they call it against. It looks like it's against Fat Hill.
And that's just the third team foul for the Cardinals. It'll be Fat Hill's second, which is unfortunate for the junior. But we talked about foul trouble a little bit. The Sycamores already to 9, so the Cardinals will be shooting 2 shots the rest of the way in the first half.
Harding gets the inbound. Quickly back to Teal. Step back. Right wing three. Short. Rebound juggled, but into the hands of Hendricks. Here comes Britton Watts the other way for Ball State. Pearson hands it off sloppily, but some contact. Britton Watts a three. Long. Contact, no foul. Alothin. Over the head pass, quickly to Wagner for three. Yes. Boy, ISU has just been burying these triples. 7 for 18 from distance.
And when you have a setter who can distribute the ball like that, it just makes your offense flourish so much more. That's Harding's second assist, and when he finds those cross-court options, it's just beautiful for the Sycamores.
Pearson all the way to the cup. He's fouled hard. Can't get the shot to go, but he'll go to the line. Samaj Teal picks up his first personal. That is the 10th team foul, so already in the double bonus are the Cardinals. Nicky Pearson was third in the Mid-American Conference in free throw percentage last year. 7 for 9 to start this year. Gets a friendly roll.
And that's something the Cardinals did very, very well against the Dayton Flyers in their last matchup. They shot 21 for 24 from the charity stripe on Wednesday. That's something that kept them in that game late against a really good Dayton Flyers team.
Second free throw good. Pearson goes 2 for 2. Back to a 4-point ball game. Ball State set a new program record in free throw percentage as a team last year as well, Griff. Really made improvements at the charity stripe. Wagner gets the handoff. Goes to work down low. He's fouled. They'll get Pearson for the reach-in.
And just really not a whole lot there from Pearson. He kind of slashes down, but it looked like he got maybe a little piece of the ball that time.
Harding back to Cook on the inbound. It's a screen, the pick and roll. Travel. Had some space downstairs, made a nifty move, but the officials say too many steps.
Well, and Harding's going to want that one back because that little bounce pass just opens up space. That's got to be an easy two for Indiana State. And Harding, with a little hop step, that's fine, but not if you take a little step with your left foot first to get yourself into better positioning. Just too many for Harding that time, and a loss of 2 points here at the back end of the half.
Hill to Gorosito. Drives inside, kicks out. Hill goes to work. Wildly behind his back, shot no good. Rebound ISU. Alathan in transition. Travels. Second turnover in as many possessions for the Sycamores.
And that is the 5th turnover from the Sycamores total. And the first travel, that was, of course, on Harding that time. That's good defense from Gorosito to get back in transition. I think Alathan thought he had a lane and then second-guessed himself at the very last moment.
Fat Hill. Outside Pearson. Ten to shoot for Ball State. Pass intercepted. And then Alathan comes crashing towards the broadcast booth. Good hustle on both ends. Ball State down by just 4. We've got a good one here in this Hoosier State rivalry here on ESPN. Getting Peyton Sparks back, huge, but when you lose Bashir Jihad, an all-conference selection from a year ago, Griff, it's a tough loss.
It's absolutely a tough loss, and I feel like that graphic didn't quite give Jihad the props for the work he did last year. I mean, 18.5 points in his last season in the Cardinal and White. He's been absolutely electric, and he's doing well at Arizona State, of course. We're wishing him good luck. But Peyton Sparks has come back. He's been that guy that's filled that gap down low. But Jihad has shot pretty well from behind the arc, too. The Cardinals still trying to find and fill that void.
Sparks fouled by Harding, so he'll get 2 free throws here. Again, the Cardinals in the double bonus. Hardy, the 11th team foul on Indiana State. First free throw from Sparks is good. He's been a lot more impressive at the line this year. Came into this one 14 for 21, but a couple of years back, you remember, Griff, he shot almost under 50% from the charity stripe as a sophomore.
And it's reassuring, I'm sure, for the Ball State coaching staff to see Sparks find that free throw, find that percentage back, because at the end of the day, it's a confidence thing, right? Like, you see miss after miss, and it just becomes impossible. It doesn't matter how many you're making in practice. Just the second you get back into a game scenario, it just becomes impossible again. So it's good to see him starting to find some confidence back at the free attempts, as we see yet another travel here from Indiana State.
That's the third in about 4 minutes for Indiana State. Already the 5th turnover tonight.
Well, it's interesting because we were talking a few minutes ago, Dom, about how clean of a game this had been, at least outside of fouls, but just travel after travel from the blue and white here.
Off-ball foul. They're going to get Daughtry. That's his second. So Sparks back to the line again. That's the one thing that head coach Matt Graves for ISU talked to us about, is he had mentioned, yeah, so what, Peyton Sparks didn't make any field goals against Dayton. The one thing that he does do a lot is get fouled, and that's so lethal, and his team has to limit that because he gets trips to the free throw line like this. Sparks goes 2 for 2. He's up to a game-high 9 points. 1-point ball game. Indiana State and Ball State, the 139th time these two teams have met. Cook dishes out outside. Daughtry with some room. Kicks it. Doughty. Yes. Boy, ISU has been lethal from distance. Already the 8th three-pointer made this half alone.
And Mickey Pearson did an excellent job to contest on that three, but an even better shot by Doughty to get it up over him, and now Pearson responds.
So back to a 1-point ball game. The Cardinals were just 1 for 8 from beyond the arc until that Pearson shot. So 34-33. No surprise that Indiana State has taken as many threes as it has. Inside, spinning and turning it over is Daughtry. But yeah, we were talking to Matt Graves earlier this week, Griffin, and he said, we want to try and take about 50% of our shots from distance as we take another look at the turnover, and Daughtry just lost his footing.
Yeah, at least from there, no contact from Sparks up high, and maybe a little bit of a lock of the feet down low, but not enough certainly for a foul.
Gorosito trying to feed inside, has to swing it around. Hernandez goes to work, fakes the step back. Now inside, Gorosito to Sparks, 5 to shoot. Peyton's got to get a shot off. Long. Doughty the other way for ISU. Under 2 to play here in the first half. Doughty dishes it. Daughtry no good on the layup. Rebound Gorosito. Ball State comes back the other way. Dish inside. Sparks through contact. Can't get the layup to go. And the board taken in by Doughty. Wagner picks up his dribble. Alathan a 3. Long. Rebound fought for. Alathan crashes in with Britton Watts. And Alathan is down on the floor.
Really hard contact that time between Alathan and Ethan Britton Watts. The way this first half's going, you thought that shot was going to fall immediately, and then just the hustle. And it's just a first to get to the ball, and the other one gets the foul, is how most of those seem to go. Ethan Britton Watts gets there by a half step and draws the foul on Alathan, who really can't believe it.
First foul on Alathan. And the Cardinals already in the double bonus, so 2 shots coming up here for Ethan Britton Watts. 3 for 4 coming into the ball game from the charity stripe. And the transfer from Boston University nails the first end.
Something to note, Peyton Sparks coming out of the game here for Ben Hendricks, favoring that left leg kind of hobbling off the sideline. He's going to stay on the bench, but something to watch out for.
Watts 2 for 2. Cardinals back in front, 35-34. Late half dramatics here from Muncie. Wagner ball fake inside. Hooks one up, no good. Board is juggled for. Gorosito ends up with the basketball. Under a minute to play. Over the head pass, Watts. Near corner, foul.
And that'll be number 3 on Alifin. Didn't want that last call to go against him. That one a little more clear cut as Ethan Britton Watts just taking the aggressive first step to his left, and the forward unable to respond with the shuffle step to defend. And Britton Watts back to the line. I think, Dom, this is a very, very important final minute of this first half to try to establish some momentum going in the halftime locker room. We've seen things bounce back and forth, some seesaw action in the first half, but maybe one team able to steal the momentum here in the final 53 seconds.
All 3 of Watts' points have come from the charity stripe here this afternoon. Got the second. Ball State with a 3-point advantage. And now we're going to see a press here as Britton Watts steps up on Tyron Cook.
When they brought in Mason Jones, known as being a really good defender on this Cardinal team, but we'll see if the Sycamores can maybe just try to break it down a little bit and claw their way back into the lead. Time to go 2 for 1 if they hurry.
Daughtry finds a crease, foul. They'll get Ben Hendricks on the push.
And a bit of a sarcastic cheer, even a couple of fans up top here at Worthen Arena with a standing ovation after finally getting a foul that goes against the Cardinals. Ben Hendricks just a little slow to turn and block down the paint on Daughtry, who's driving.
Inbound floated into Daughtry. Cook finds a crease inside, lays it home on the reverse. +1.
And how about that move on the end of the play by Tyron Cook? Just he hangs in the air for what feels like forever. And Jones, who I think initially thought he had good enough position to push him to the baseline, just gets caught with a couple of inches under the basket. And Cook makes him pay. How about that and the chance to tie the game?
Big free throw coming up here for Cook. Just 1 for 4 to start this season. And now we'll see Daughtry check out for Merritt Eldering. 6'7" freshman from Michigan into the ball game.
And that's just a substitution to try to avoid a foul here. Daughtry already with 2. You bring in Eldering, who, if he picks one up, it's really no big deal for the Sycamores.
Cook is long on his free throw. Sparks almost has it taken away from him by Walker, but the Cardinals end up with a basketball. Gorosito in the front court. About a half-second separating shot clock and game clock. So Ball State looking for one last look here before we go to half.
Indiana State's here in a zone. They've got to break it.
Hernandez fouled going up. He'll get 3 shots. That's another bad foul. It'll go on Dowdy.
That's really close to whether or not Hernandez's right foot was on the line there. But I think they're going to give him 3 shots here with a couple of seconds left. Indiana State switched their defensive position on that play. They went from man-to-man to hopping into a zone to try to confuse Ball State. They're able to find Hernandez in the corner, who had maybe the most contested look of the game, but it might work out in the end for some points.
Hernandez will get 2 more shots. could be a big free throw here to make it a two-possession ball game, and especially for the Cardinals, trying to make sure that they still have the lead going into half. If Indiana State can get off one last quick shot. No good on the back end. Long heave at the buzzer is well off right. So ball's back out onto the floor for the Cardinals here, as well as the Sycamores. 20 more minutes of basketball here between these two Hoosier State rivals. Indiana State won the contest last year at the Indy Classic down at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Ball State trying to answer here in 2024.
Well, the momentum shift out of the halftime break will be important here. Ball State ended the first half on a 9-2 run, but it was a lot of free throws. They only made one of their last 8 field goals to end the half.
Teal starts with the basketball for Indiana State. Outside Doughty. Ball fake, moves inside on Jones. From the right box. Tough lay, he got it.
Yeah, excellent defense from Mason Jones to stop Doughty in his tracks, or Doughty rather, but knocks it in off the window. Just excellent angle on the shot from outside the paint.
Sparks feeds for Jones. Through a couple of defenders, he's fouled. And that's exactly what you did not want if you're Indiana State. 13 fouls in the first half. Quickly into the double bonus went the Cardinals in the previous 20 minutes, and then Wagner all in the face of Jones.
Yeah, quite literally. I mean, he almost went for a piggyback ride that time, but Cam Wagner getting the early foul call, but that's just his second.
First free throw from Jones, good.
And Mason Jones isn't a guy who's going to really dominate the scoring sheet for this Ball State team. The Valparaiso native, known for his defense, known for his grit. He'll get to the line some, able to convert on those opportunities, but they want him on the floor for his defensive ability.
Three-point lead for the Cardinals. Teal driving baseline. Whistle blown, foul on Fat Hill.
And Samaj Teal trying to make Hill uncomfortable early in the half, and it's exactly what happens. Fat gets his third foul right off the bat here in the second half, and that will send him to the bench here as Lewis wants to conserve his point guard.
So Hernandez and Hendricks come into the ball game for Hill and Sparks. Inbound floated up, Harding. Teal gets a screen. Wagner, ball fake, drives inside, right to the rack and puts it home.
Wagner able to lay it in on the end, but that's just an excellent closeout by Marcus Harding to draw Hendricks out of the play and open up the easy lane for two.
Hendricks hands off Brenton Watts. Outside Pearson. His tray is home.
And Mickey Pearson Jr. just has such a sweet three-point stroke, but he's never been able to really become a sharpshooter. Shooting just 25% this season, but if he can get going, he can be a game changer.
Steal for Hendricks. Summers slipped. Watts beats Teal. Hernandez bounces it Hendricks. Pearson another tray, why not? Short. Summers running the floor. Cut to Doughty, no shot. Foul on the floor before Doughty could put it up and in.
And we talked about Jones' defensive ability, but that time he just gets straight up beat. Just on the back foot, Doughty cuts in just right across the face of Jones. And he's lucky not to get called for the foul on the shot, which could have been a three-point play.
Teal drives baseline, dishes it. Wagner, through contact, is fouled. No bucket, but he'll go to the line.
And that time Hendricks trying to defend his pain after getting beat initially. Hernandez had to switch on, and Hendricks then having to guard the shifty Wagner mid-drive, and it's just not an equation that's going to work out in the Cardinals' favor.
Wagner rattles home the first free throw. coming off of setting a career high in points and three-pointers made last game. Put up 12 against SIU Edwardsville. 4 three-pointers made. First-year transfer from Rice, native of Dallas, Texas. Got both free throws. 2-point ball game.
And with Hill out of the game for the Cardinals, look for Ethan Britton-Watts to try to get something going here. 4 points in the first half, but all coming from the free throw line. Hasn't hit a field goal yet. Wonder if Dub will try to get himself open on the perimeter a little bit.
Sparks hands off. Britton-Watts. Pearson left wing. Bounces it Sparks. Sparks goes to work. Right-handed scoop, no good. But he draws contact, and he gets back to the line.
And that's the Peyton Sparks special. Harding with his hands straight up, but Sparks all up in his grill, and when he goes up, it's just contact on the elbow. And that'll be Harding's third, as Indiana State's early fouls in the first half starting to bite them a little bit here in the second.
Takes Sparks 4 for 6 from the line today. Harding comes out of the ball game. Jaden Daughtry back in. Sparks left it short. Rebound falls in the lap of Dowdy of Indiana State. Wagner catches and fires. Tie ball game.
And that's just mean. Wagner coming around. Not too far off was Gorosito, but Wagner rising up, he immediately knocks down his third tray of the game.
Sparks goes to work inside, and the lefty powers it home. All-State back out in front. Peyton Sparks with a team-leading 12 points. Teal tries a triple. Off left. Sparks the board. Behind the back pass to keep it into Pearson. Hernandez tried to kick out to Gorosito. Miscommunication.